Thank you for your testimony. Mr. Weiss.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Peter Weiss.
Would you hit the push button?
Is that working?
Yes.
All right. Well, good morning. My name is Peter Weiss. I am 21 years old, and I am at present a senior at the George Washington University. First, I'd like to thank the city for granting me this opportunity to lend my voice to the chorus of those calling for marriage equality here in the District of Columbia. Originally from New Rochelle, New York, I had a fairly typical childhood. I aspired to be a super ninja and fight bad guys. I did my best to avoid the cooties, and of course, I rarely did what I was told. I also knew from a very early age that I was gay, and that there were those who believed that this was simply wrong. And me, being the little American patriot I was, thought that this must be true because, in fact, the laws in our country reflected this idea. I thought this must be true. Fortunately, I was raised in a family by two incredible parents who taught me otherwise. They taught me that any two people who were in a committed, trusting, and loving relationship deserved the dignity and protections of marriage, and that it was the law that was wrong and not me. To the detractors of this bill here today, although I have the sense that I am predominantly among friends, please consider these few ideas. Many of you say that if gays and lesbians cannot marry, what's next? Yet I ask you, isn't discrimination wrong no matter who it affects? Shouldn't we be working together to fight discrimination? If gays and lesbians cannot be married, I ask you, yes, what is next? And what if you were told that you were not allowed to marry the person you loved? Or if you were able to marry that person and someone tried to take that away from you, how would that make you feel? Members of the council, I am receiving perhaps the most expensive political science degree possible. Through my studies, I have learned that this issue before you today is simply a matter of equality under the law. Thus, I urge you to please vote in favor of the Religious Freedom and Civil Marriage Equality Amendment Act. Seize this opportunity to protect gay and lesbian couples in D.C. who care for and love each other, but who are shut out of marriage and put in harm's way. Take this opportunity to send a message to the rest of the nation that D.C. is ready to be a beacon for marriage equality. And perhaps most of all, please use this opportunity to send a message to young gays and lesbians that they are not wrong, but all just as wonderful, and they too deserve a happy and successful future in this city and in this nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Weiss. Mr. Altman.
Thank you. Excuse me. I'd just like to thank the council for this opportunity. My name is Josh Altman. I am a student at George Washington University. I've come here today in order to lend my voice to the cause of marriage equality. As a straight man, such a cause bears no direct benefit for me, but I have still come. Why? I have come because I wish to live in a society in which no citizen is denied the opportunity to pursue happiness and to lead a fulfilling life. I have come because anyone who contributes to the well-being of society, who opens a business, who cares for a child, who is looked up to as a leader, should have that society's full support in seeking the aforementioned objects. I've come here today with Peter Weiss, whom you've just heard speak. Not only is Peter my friend, but he is in charge of myself and 13 other people atop one of GW's largest student organizations. Now, Peter and I are very different people. He grew up in New York. I grew up in the Deep South. He's a vocal liberal, and I receive daily overtures to join the College Republicans. He is gay. I am not. We often argue and disagree. But there is one thing that he and I both believe, that whether one is gay or straight, you should be able to seek out fulfillment and security, that two consenting adults, no matter their gender, should be capable of consummating their relationship in an emotional and economic partnership that society recognizes as legitimate. How can two people who are so different, who come from such starkly different backgrounds, have an identical view on such a significant principle? It is because both he and I recognize that a person's worth rests not in who they're asking out for dinner, but in their character. Peter leads our student organization with passion and competence. He runs it with integrity and focus, and with a keen sense of what leadership is. These are the qualities that should determine his happiness, not his sexual orientation. And yet he is denied the ability to pursue that happiness, while I may pursue it at my discretion. Of all our glaring differences, this is the only one that is unacceptable. Many like to point out that the dictionary lists the definition of marriage as being a union between a man and a woman, and thus it is obvious that suggesting otherwise must be wrong. In accordance with this fondness for the spoken word, I would like to close by recommending another of Webster's glorious entries: justice, the quality of being just, of being guided by truth, reason, and fairness. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Altman.